have you back here with us. Hopefully you enjoyed episode 1 of Ask Brand Speak Season 2. And today I am excited to present to you another brand story in fact, of a company and a product that we dearly love. You know, it added a little bit to my weight right now in the past 2 years, but most definitely you'll enjoy this story. You'll learn so much more. So I present to you today's story from Lola Nena's. I have here with me Miss Steffi Santana. Hi, Steph.
Hi. Happy morning. Nice to meet you.
Happy morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Very well. Have
I
you
had
your
my
coffee?
I'm partially drinking my coffee, so I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Oh, so you're hyper.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, we'll enjoy. Well, Steph, I mentioned, you know, I really do enjoy your products. I mean, you know, we love donuts. And the first time that I got a hold of this brand is in 2020. And because we live in the South, there was a particular season during that time where the entire area in that village was really like a ghost town because of the pandemic. Like every store was closing down, and we saw one particular store where people were lining up like ridiculously. You know, parang sine. It was like a long line for
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, that's the term. And I saw, wow, Lola Nena's, what's that? Let's try it. So we picked up a good time to go there where it's super hot, scorching. Siyempre, ayaw na pumili ng mga Filipinos for that one. And so we tried it. So that's when we discovered Lola Nena's. And so the reason why we're here is because we believe in your brand, we believe in your product, we want to get to know you and the company a little better. Sige, Steffi. So maybe you can tell us, how did Lola Nena start? What's your story?
Okay, so Lola Nena started in 2012, and I grew up in the States with my parents and my siblings, and as you can say, we were fresh off the boat in Manila, and we were thinking of we needed to make money and how to make money, and you know, how to make money and how to survive here because we moved.
Of course.
We're freshly moved here, and so we thought that we would open a small takeout store that sold pichi pichi, which is a recipe that has been in our family for a long time. And as we were thinking about what we were gonna call it, we were thinking we wanted it to be a very homey feeling of comfort, and what better values like love, respect, warmth than from a Lola. And we wanted to name it after our Lola, well actually my great-grand Lola and my dad's Lola, Lola Nena, because she loved to cook. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. Our first branch opened in Quezon Avenue near Welcome Rotonda, and it's still there right now.
Amazing. And you know, you mentioned to me that all of you, your entire family, had to move here in 2012. And can you tell me something about your story, starting that business in 2012 and then going through the pandemic in March? I mean, how did you survive? Did you ever stop the stores or stop selling? What happened to you during this time?
It was a very scary time for all businesses, especially food establishments, because you know, we kind of count on, well, Lola Nena's at least, we counted on the commuters. So our product line was pichi pichi, corner bakery, so pan de coco, pan de sal, Spanish bread, and we were selling things from 5 to 20 pesos. So we were really counting on the commuters. So we were scared that it was March, right? It was March 2020 lockdown, zero customers. From like having a lot of commuters to zero customers. So it was very scary. But also at the same time, we knew that we couldn't afford to close. Because if we closed, we don't have enough money to make sure that all our 60 employees back then could have, you know, a job and money to spend for their everyday. So yun, we decided to open, and we talked to all our employees, and we asked the ones that were willing to still work. So the ones that were willing to still work, we either got them a place to stay that was walking distance to our branches, or we picked them up from their houses and brought them to work and brought them back every single day. And I think even though that was a scary time, that was the biggest blessing that's ever happened to us. Because when the pandemic happened, yes, there were no more commuters, but because we were onboarded in Grab, which is a delivery service, the people had a chance. We had a chance to be seen for kind of the first time, and parang nobody else was open. We were the only ones open, so walang choice. All the people like trying to order food, and they were at home, sad, scared, you know, hungry, and we were given a choice. We were given a chance for the first time for them to try our food. And it's kind of like the rest is history kind of thing from that
Wow.
moment on.
That's amazing. I like what you said, Steffi. I mean, that was really a test to business owners during the pandemic, whether to close or to continue. Both is scary during that time because you're so uncertain about the future. But the fact that you mentioned that, you decided to stay open so that you can continually provide a job for your employees. 60 is not a low number. I mean, it's a very big number. In order to provide for them, it's such a noble thing. And I think that's a reflection of your company values. Like you really care about the employees. And you picking them up, are you yourself, you're the driver?
Yeah, either me, my brother, or my dad.
Amazing.
Yeah, so all our current drivers back then were scared actually, so they stayed home.
That's right.
And then so we were the ones picking them up, bringing them back home every day for the first few months. Of pandemic.
Amazing. So, so this one is kind of like I wanna know, dig deep, no, in your heart. So, what gave you the courage to do that? To say that we're gonna continue 2020. COVID, so scary. 2020,
No idea. We had no idea what it was.
But then we'll continue. We'll press on. What vision or what kept you? What are the values that kept you to move forward?
I think it was kind of, what's that word? We were just really focused on our mission, which was to create happiness through our comfort food. And a way for us to do that is to be open. If we're not open and we're not serving our food and we're not serving our colleagues or employees, then we have no business. So it was really that.
Amazing. Create happiness.
Yeah, that's our vision, to create
Amazing.
Happiness through our food.
Right. So, Lola Nena started with a single product, you said, like a corner bakery, which is Pichi Pichi, right? So if you don't know what Pichi Pichi is, and maybe you can help me out here, Steffi, you're a chef.
Yeah.
I mean, is it rice cake? I mean, what is it made of?
So Pichi Pichi is made of kamoteng kahoy, which is cassava.
Okay, so mali pa ako.
Cassava. So kamoteng kahoy is like a root crop.
Okay.
So it's taken from the ground. And then what you do is you grind it.
Okay.
You mix it with the other ingredients. You mix water with it and you steam it.
Amazing.
So that's how you cook the Pichi Pichi. And a fun story about that is a few years after we first opened, we got the help from the Department of Science and Technology. And they came in, and that was back when our commissary was still in our house. They came in and looked at our process, and they said, okay, I think we can create a nice grinder that would make your Pichi Pichi how you want it to be. Because back then, we used the grinders that you can just buy in the palengke. And we would put the cassava over and over through the grinders
So
to
it was
get the
manual?
consistency.
Like,
Manual.
wow.
To get the consistency that we wanted. And you would have to do like 3 or 4 passes.
Oh my gosh.
But Department of Science and Technology actually hooked us up with an engineer in UP Los Baños, and he made a machine for us for our Pichi Pichi that at one pass it's already perfect consistency.
Amazing.
Yes, and then until now we are using that machine like 8 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's part of building a company or a brand,
Yeah.
right? I mean, automating some of the processes where what would take you probably 3 hours could now take you
Half an hour.
Half an hour
Yeah.
to produce that much.
Yeah, and also more food safe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it took like research, being connected to the right people, and investing in the right machine to
Yes.
create that process.
And I
love-
guess using innovation and
Right.
science, because I guess as a millennial entrepreneur, it's something that we strive for, using technology now and making our business better and faster and more efficient.
Amazing. So take note of that. Using innovation and science, right? Sometimes you may feel like, okay, nosebleed though, how do I do it?
Yeah.
I will be spending more, but actually it's not spending, but you are investing. Because the more that you lessen the number of hours in terms of production, right, you get more out of it. And so you can actually sell more, and eventually you will earn more out of it.
Yeah, and I guess it's also, figuring out what is out there to help. Because it was a government agency, the Department of Science and Technology, they actually lent us the money
Amazing.
to buy it. And then we
Okay.
had, they gave us like 2 years to pay with no interest.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
just kind of figuring out where you can get help.
That's good.
And you don't have to have such a big initial investment
Right.
to create something.
Yeah.
efficient.
Amazing. But your peachy peachy recipe is really from your Lola Nena, is that right?
It's actually passed down in the
Okay.
family. We're not 100% sure where, those recipes that have just been
Right.
like, oh yeah, this is our recipe from like,
My
and
mom
nobody
made
really
this,
knows.
my mom made this, yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody has their own version. But of course, it's changed a little bit since we started, and we've made it better, I believe, and we're still continuing on figuring out how to make our products better, more delicious, better quality.
Amazing. So, are you known now for the peachy peachy, or what is your best-selling product at the moment?
Our best-selling product right now is our triple cheese donuts. I think there's something about a fried pastry with cheese inside that's just like people. Every time I have new people coming in, they're like, "What? This is like crack. This is so delicious. I can't stop eating it." So there's something about that donut, that marriage of like the oily, carby, dairy.
Right.
So there's something about it that's just magic, and I think we kind of got lucky. And also we got it from the customers. I mean, we wouldn't have had the triple cheese would have never been born without the feedback coming from them.
Amazing. So tell us about that, because I think that's a very important component, again, of building your brand. So you mentioned you listened to your customer. What were they saying, and how did you reach out to them?
So in the start of the pandemic, me and my siblings and my mom, we were all manning the Facebook and the Instagram because our social media did not really exist back then. So we didn't have people, answering all the inquiries. So it was us. And I think because of that, we were really able to talk to the customers direct, and every feedback and every constructive criticism that we got, we really took to heart and, went back to the drawing table and say, what are they asking for and how can we give it? So we were lucky that we were really the ones being able to talk to them.
Amazing. So social media, are you talking about Facebook,
It was
Instagram?
Facebook and Instagram
Okay.
mainly.
And people were commenting and giving their feedback.
Because I think somebody posted in one of the food groups that this classic donut is really good. There's cheese inside, and the people started ordering. So this one
Amazing.
post
He's
became,
not even known.
He's unknown. One post became kind of viral because I think his photos looked really good and it looked really masarap, right? So that's important. It needs to look masarap, and people started ordering. People that have never heard from us before, and I guess when they ordered, they expected a lot of cheese because his photos looked like there was a lot of cheese. So
Okay.
maybe when they first tasted it, they felt a little underwhelmed, and they were like, "Oh, we wanted it to have more cheese," and
Okay.
so there was never more cheese in the donut. So it kind of pushed us to create a new product.
I see. Okay. I like that what you said, because what this customer did was to actually try your donut, okay, and then take a photo of it, post it on social media or post it in the food group, and what the people did was they actually took on it and consider his he was anonymous, right? So
Yeah,
it's sort of like he's not even an influencer.
No.
He took the review, and the people knew that this person is not paid to do this thing, right?
Yeah.
That it's a legit comment.
Yeah, until this day, we've never paid an influencer to post for
Amazing.
Lola Nena.
Amazing. So that's how good your product is. Yeah. And I was always wondering, like, how did people know that this particular store is opening in the South with a lot of people falling in line? I mean, was that all social media?
We started doing social media around mid 2020.
Okay.
Mid 2020, we hired a multimedia artist, and then I was really working hand in hand with him and creating all this content. And we really focused on storytelling and figuring out how we can show our products without really hard sell, because I've never been a fan of like, buy this now kind of stuff.
Right.
So I felt like storytelling would be a nice fit with our brand, especially our values. And it's all about Lola and figuring out what she likes and how she can connect with her apos. So that really helped, and I think word of mouth more than anything. If people like the product, they're gonna tell their friends.
Right.
And we are very open with complaints.
Okay.
And we do have complaints. Of course, every business have gone through that, but we really don't just really make sure that our complaints are fixed.
Right.
And then we can fix it on our end, and we can make sure that it doesn't happen again, and we can go on trainings and make sure that we'll do better next time. So we take those things seriously. So I think that makes a difference in the end with the customer experience.
Right. I love it. I mean, was this all planned out? Because the way that you're sharing right now is like utilizing when it comes to marketing, at least, because this is what also this interview hopes to bring to our audience, is that you know, they will be able to learn something from your brand that's been successful. You said storytelling is the way to go. I absolutely love that and agree, because people can easily hook, you know, themselves to the story. Aside from that, you also mentioned being open to customer feedback, right? Your honesty, which is also very important. Allowing yourself to be criticized constructively, right? And then assess, okay, what can we do with this one? Honest and open feedback. So all of that via digital marketing or social media.
I remember there was one time we had an entire fresh crew, and then instead of sugar, we used salt in all of our donuts. So every single donut in that batch were salty, and we had no idea.
Oh, wow.
And it came out, and people were eating salty donuts.
Oh my!
And so I wanted to hide under a rock, but you know, the only thing to do is really face it.
Okay.
So I think there's something about really showing. I showed my face and I talked to the people on TikTok, and I told them this is what happened.
Wow.
Like, we're sorry, everybody that received these salty donuts, like, let me know and we will replace them, and we'll do what we can, and we're so sorry. And it's a lesson. So I think it's, I guess, showing up when you make mistakes and being accountable to those mistakes and making sure it doesn't happen again is very important. But talking about branding, I think sometimes we become, especially when we're a small business, we become really scared of going all out in our media and our branding, because we don't know, kaya ba ng ops? You know, it's one thing that people are clamoring to get it, but like, are we actually able to make these products?
That's right.
And I think we weren't in the beginning, but when you're faced with all the orders, you're gonna have to figure out how to do it, and you will figure out, and you'll make it happen. So not being scared. Yeah. We have this one story that we were having in the beginning of the triple cheese donuts. We had a line of like, you know, if you order today, you'll get it 3 weeks from now, because we only had a maximum production every single day, and it was already reserved.
Wow.
So people would be like, what? I'll order today and I'll get it 3 weeks from now? Like, how does that make, who are you? It's like the pandemic, like how? And so we're like, okay, we need to figure this out, because we can't only make like this amount of donuts, because you know, our growth is stopped because of our production amount that we can produce. So luckily there was this one like massage parlor that we used to go to a lot, and they texted my dad and was like, sir, lahat kami walang trabaho, can you take us? And it was like a group of like 15 masseuses, like ladies.
Wow.
And my dad was like, okay, I'll take you guys in, all of you. Like, we didn't know if we would be able to use all of them. Imagine, we only had 60 employees back then. You know, taking in a big percentage, like 15 employees. So we took them in. We made a donut factory in this building where we are, and then we taught all of them from masahe, naging masa. Nagmamasa na sila ng dough after. And it turns out all those masseuses are really good at baking.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then our first few months, from making around 2,000 donuts a day, because of this team from this massage bar, we were able to make like 20,000 donuts every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Massive
and
production.
So massive production, and then we were doing like mass hiring during pandemic.
Amazing.
And we were doing like Zoom interviews, like, yeah, just come in, we need you. Just come in an antigen, or like do a PCR and we need you. You can come in and we can make all these donuts. So it's a very crazy time, but it's kind of a lesson that when you're forced to like do something and you really push yourself, you can. Like, you'll find a way, and it'll come.
Amazing. That's so inspiring. I'm so inspired by that story.
They're still here. They're downstairs. They're like still making donuts.
That's so inspiring. I mean, just a story of people in need, not necessarily connected even to your business or to your line of work, but because of kindness, because of the kindness of your family, you extended that. And look where it brought you. It brought you so much success. We were, having a chat before this, and Steph mentioned to me that from 60, you now have how many employees?
400.
400. So she is
400.
choosing to be single right now because she has 400 kids and employees. So she
I have 400 children that I'm taking care of.
Yeah, that's right.
They text me their problems. I get a little bit overwhelmed sometimes. Kaya naman, carry naman.
Amazing, amazing. What an inspiring story. So humbling as well. I was already imagining in my head like those masseuse.
Yeah, imagine.
Actually,
yung mga,
this is for
malalaking dough, and they're just like massaging, giving it love.
Yeah, I know.
Giving it. I mean, there's something about cooking and giving the food love.
True.
And maybe our customers felt that, felt their love, and felt our love. So I think I believe that, and I was telling you earlier that in this office, I'm the oldest one in this office. So there's something about like the youth and their energy that maybe even if we're called Lola Nenas, like maybe our customers feel the passion and the energy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Your love for your great grandmom passed on to your your grandmother, and then to your parents, now your family.
Yeah.
It's very family centric. I love it. Those masseuse never have probably imagined that this skill set would actually be used.
And we were like, no, pwede na massage parlors. We were like, hala, are they gonna leave? But they didn't leave us.
Amazing.
They're still here, so baka they enjoyed doing it na.
Yeah. No complaints here with the dough.
No complaints.
That's awesome. You also mentioned a very important thing that I wanna, re-echo about honesty. Like you mentioned something about making a mistake in the business, and I think a lot of businesses, especially coming from a PR angle, would choose to not speak anything about a mistake. Like you can be silent and let the problem just go away on its own. But what you did, I think this generation, this market really loves, which is authenticity.
Yes.
Okay, we put a batch of salt in here. And so here you are
We're sorry.
coming up.
Yeah.
And this is the real face of the brand, because you're not only a brand manager, but you are the owner, right? And owing up to that.
Yeah, I think people understand that everybody makes mistakes. And sometimes as a business, you feel like you can't own up to it because you're afraid of what people are gonna say. Maybe you feel like you're not professional enough to make a mistake. But again, everybody makes mistakes, and just as long as you can face it and be accountable to it, fix it, and make sure that it doesn't happen again. I mean, people are innately nice, actually. Especially when branding-wise in the beginning, we didn't really have a brand voice. We weren't speaking as a Lola.
Right.
But once we started really living that brand and that culture of being Lola, I think people have been, or our customers have really been calling us Lola, and we've been calling us Apo. Even if I'm not a real Lola, I feel like I am, and that's how I started talking to them, and that's how they started talking back. So there's really that connection with the customers, and using that brand voice to connect to them.
Yeah. So you call your staff here like, Apo, come here.
Apo. And
Finish this.
when we're actually, we have a lot of group chats, and our main group chat is, I call everyone, mga Apo, please support. We have a new post. Can you like? Can you comment? Yeah.
And that's very Filipino, right? I mean, having the love for grandmother, for family, these terms, it's really Filipino. So you really embrace being local and making us proud that, this brand is indeed local. It's purely Filipino, and now it's being, enjoyed by a lot of people. I want to say something also about what you said earlier, and this could be for brands there that are probably struggling as well. Steffi mentioned about, again, authenticity and owning up to your mistakes. I think that's really very important. As a business owner, or when you're building a company or a brand, you will make mistakes. If you expect yourself to be perfect, then that's the road down to depression. Because you will make mistakes. But once you do that, you can owe up, take responsibility for that, most definitely, but then you'll always have you must muster the courage to continue and to press on. I really love that. Thank you so much, Steffi. One last thing. Is there anything that you'd like to share to our audiences?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot. But
I
I think, Lola Nena's, I said earlier, our vision is to make people happy through our comfort food. And we're doing that by opening more stores and making sure that we're available in more places. So we have plans to really expand. We actually don't franchise. So everything is company owned, and everything is mga apo ni Lola lahat yan. Mga apo ko.
And how many companies are there already? How many branches?
We have 21.
Amazing.
And so we're opening tomorrow. What day? I don't even know. We're opening
Wednesday.
on Friday.
Wow.
We're opening on Friday in Calamba. And then we have Mega Mall, our very first mall, on the works.
Okay.
And then we have Malolos on the works also. And I think we're looking at Batangas. So
amazing.
please pray for us and please support us.
Please support them. Those of you who live in Batangas, in Calamba, right?
Calamba,
okay,
Bulacan, and of course, everybody shopping in Mega Mall.
Mega Mall. Lola Nena is the way to go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Steffi. Appreciate this talk. And please do support Lola Nena's. This has been Steffi and Lay for Ask BRANDSPEAK Episode 2. We'll see you guys. God bless you.